From WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader in high definition. The news starts now.
This tornado warning is serious. It is serious business. A lot of rotation showing up in a very highly populated area. We do not have as yet a confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but the radar indicators are strong that there could be a tornado in the area moving into Mobile. Again, this is serious. Get to a safe place.
All right, we are getting these damage reports. They are coming in. I'm going to start here in the Crichton area of the city of Mobile at Union and Spring Hill Avenue. News 5's Tiffany McCall just sending this picture. I just pulled it up from my email, and this area is shut down. Spring Hill Avenue east of I-65 is shut down. You see here Spring Hill and Union. Trees down in the parking lot. This looks to be a BP station, but you know what, folks, it's hard to tell exactly what it is because the sign is blown down. This is the Crystal, and this is where we're hearing about some of the damage. A friend of mine telling me that she was working out at a gym right next to the Crystals, and she saw this happen. And my friend was telling me that as this was happening, the employees of Crystal were running out of the building because part of the roof caved in. Ashley, you just made your way here to the station from, I believe, Airport Boulevard.
Yes, it was the service road right as you're heading away from the Bel Air Mall, crossing over 65. You can see the footage right here. This is what the Motel 6 looks like right now. They told me this happened around 5 this morning. You can see the awning there that used to be there is completely gone. It was wiped out into the street.
We have a significant amount of wind damage out here. The BP sign is down. The awnings over BP where you get the gas has been blown completely to the ground. We have metal everywhere, debris everywhere, lots of tree limbs down. We have residents out who are surveying the damage to their homes, business owners out.
Take a look at this. This used to be the Anytime Fitness over here by Lowe's at the Bel Air Mall. Tons of damage. They tell me around here that this happened around 4:50, 5 o'clock this morning.
The severe winds just pretty much ripped the bricks off of this building. We have cleanup crews out here trying to pick the bricks up right now, trying to get as much as they can off of the ground. When you woke up this morning, what'd you hear?
Yes, I was woke mostly, and I heard a loud sound, and I just seen the roof of stuff tumbling down on me. The whole front part just tumbling. I had to crawl my way out of there. And I ran next door and got the neighbor, woke them up, and I told them that my husband was up in there. So they called 911, and the fire rescue squad went in there and got him out.
So it was truly a terrifying situation. I mean, was he trapped?
Yes.
Where was he trapped?
Up in the back bedroom. We have a 2-bedroom house. Yeah, he said the dresser blowed on him while he was up in the bed.
She's okay. It's a miracle.
Horribly frightening experience, and yeah, I think it's very surprising that she and her husband got out of that.
Yes, I know. We are glad to hear that. Blake, looks to you like you're there at McConnell Automotive. What, upwards of 100 cars damaged?
That's right, Devin. Earlier estimates were about 30 or so cars that were heavily damaged, but right now, of course, they're telling me about 100, anywhere upwards to 100 vehicles out here in this parking lot on Dolphin Street. Photographer Jason Garcia is going to kind of show you some of the damage that we're seeing out here in this parking lot. Take a look. This is one of the Mercedes. It's a GLK 350. The back windshield completely just taken off of this Mercedes, and of course, you can tell these vehicles were not parked like this, so a lot of these vehicles have been shifted with the wind. You can also see behind me that this big Mercedes sign, of course, directing everybody into this parking lot, that's completely fallen over.
We're at an intersection where there is a lot of debris and a lot of roof damage. Let me show you this house over here belongs to a woman named Daisy. She had her daughter, grandchildren in there, and what they were hearing this morning was rumbling, thunder, and heavy rain. She said when she looked out the window this morning, all she could see was just a sheet of white, that the rain and the force of that wind was just so strong that it showed that much force upon her windows. Now, if we go down the street a little bit, you can see that we've got some power crews, Mobile Police here, and also a little bit farther down the street there, you can see a home where the roof is almost pretty much completely blown off. I mean, it almost looks like that's a home under construction, but that's the amount of damage that was done right in that area over there.
Just to see it jump to these different communities, It might have been a small storm, but boy, did it move. I know the people there have some stories to tell about this storm when it hit about 4:30 this morning.
Yeah, they said that, Chad Petrie was talking about it being the alarm clock. Well, about 5 o'clock this morning, the manager who lives here on site was awakened by crashing glass and a big roar. Take a look behind me. This used to be the awning, and this is his truck that was here at the Motel 6. He told me that he washed it just a couple days ago and put it under the awning last night because he knew there was going to be rain and he didn't want the rain to get on it, but the awning did. There are a lot of damage here as far as just structural damage, roof damage, a lot of vehicles in the parking lot. You see a cinder block wall has just collapsed. They're doing what they can to clean up this area right now.
I'm standing in front of the home right now where a couple was asleep this morning, as you said, and the strong winds came. They were shaken, woken up out of their beds. They tried to seek shelter. The wife rushed out the house. Her husband got trapped. The emergency crews had to come and rescue him out of this demolished home.
I'm just very grateful that my mom and stepfather is just fine, and we got the phone call about 6 o'clock this morning. She was crying, and it was just so much going on, so much emotion was going through us, and we came out, and I looked and I said, well, thank you God that we still have our mother. The house, material things can be replaced, but my mother and stepfather cannot be replaced.
People have lost their homes, devastated right here just a few days before Christmas. It's just awful.
We find ourselves in the unpleasant position of showing you damage from storms and still having severe weather in the area. Let's take a look right now. A couple of lines of strong thunderstorms. The first is the one that's been producing tornadoes. This second will bring us strong thunderstorms, and then eventually behind that, some clearing weather.
One of those storm cells that are coming through right now, News 5's Ashley Knight right in the middle of it.
The wind just picked up a few minutes ago. It started raining, really windy gusts, high-speed gusts of wind out here. I can feel already, just having stood here for the past few minutes, the temperature has dropped tremendously. It was humid, it was warmer, and now it's definitely 5 or 6 degrees cooler, and you can absolutely feel it out here.
The rain has just come back and the temperature's probably dropped at least 5 degrees, so there could be another strong line of storms passing through, and that could be a problem because there's debris all around, like this stuff right here. This is the kind of thing you want to avoid. A board with a nail in it, step on it, could ruin your day. Now basically what we have here is a lot of roof damage, and I counted at least 5 homes that have had their roofs either partially torn off or completely torn off. Let's go down here to this house over here. It is owned by a woman by the name of Daisy. She said she heard the storm pass through just before 5 o'clock this morning. She heard the rustling, the rain, the noise. So her and her family got huddled in the center of the house and just waited for it to pass.
I heard the trembling, and then the window started shaking, and the whole house started shaking, and the wind was blowing the panes out of my room, and in the living room, and in the bathroom. And next thing I knew, that I rolled out my bed and fell off. At least I fell out the bed and rolled into my daughter's room to tell her that it was a tornado and hit our house, and that was it.
A lot of times you get the impression from The Wizard of Oz that the house rises into the air and turns around and then comes back down. But what usually happens is the wind will push the house, and it'll push it and turn it as the house is moving. So tornadoes typically don't pick up an entire house, but they will push it and it will pivot.
Tell us where we stand as far as outages. Are we looking at about 8,200 people without power right now?
Yes, Devin, that's correct. A little more than 8,000 people are without power right now. We are in the field working as quickly and as safely as possible to restore power.
All of the neighbors there have gotten out of their homes to survey the damage, to take a look, try to get a head start on some of that cleanup.
We're going to bring you the latest weather information today on News 5 at noon. At this point, we want to send you back to regular programming, and we will be joining the Young and the Restless in just about a minute and a half.